Welcome to the deep dive. You know that feeling when you're swimming through a sea of information, desperate for that one key insight, but the current just feels, well, too strong, especially when you're trying to learn something as complex as a new language. Today, we're taking a truly unique journey, a deep dive into an intriguing narrative that landed on our desk, a case study, if you will, exploring an unconventional approach to mastering English. It really challenges everything we think we know about learning.
Indeed. It's quite a story. We're delving into the remarkable experience of Eliza Carter, a young woman who, much like many of us, I suspect, yearned for English fluency. But she found herself constantly battling a demanding life and, honestly, persistent frustration.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Her journey, however, takes this really unexpected turn. It suggests that maybe the most profound learning can occur when we least expect it, quite literally, while we sleep.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We're going to follow Eliza's path,
Right.
From her initial struggles,
Mm-hmm.
the frustration, to a surprising discovery that led to a series of, well, transformative dreamlike experiences. And this isn't just about acquiring vocabulary, is it? It's more about discovering new capacities within ourselves, understanding how the mind works when it's allowed to truly relax.
Precisely. It touches on some fascinating concepts about subconscious processing and learning.
So imagine Eliza. She's juggling a demanding job at a local bakery by day.
Long hours, I bet.
Right. And attending night school. English fluency is this big dream, but time for traditional study. It's a luxury she simply doesn't have.
That's a common bottleneck for so many learners, just finding the time, the energy.
And she'd tried every conventional method, apps, books, YouTube videos, even a strict tutor, only to find new words just vanishing from her mind the next day.
Ugh, that feeling is soul-crushing, like pouring water into a sieve.
Totally. She's at her wit's end, and one quiet night, standing by her window, she just whispers it aloud. If only I could learn while I sleep. That's the only time I have left.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How often breakthroughs seem to emerge when we release that conscious effort, that intense pressure.
Like giving up, almost.
Or perhaps letting go. Eliza's desperate wish, voiced into the quiet night, it seemed to open a new pathway, tapping into a receptive state she wasn't even aware existed.
It does align with some theories, doesn't it? That our brains continue processing and consolidating information in relaxed or sleep states.
Yes, the idea of memory consolidation during sleep is well established. What's unusual here is the input during that state.
And here's where her story gets really unexpected. Just as she turns away, her old radio, which she rarely used, inexplicably turns on.
Spooky.
Right, no music, no ads, just a calm, almost hypnotic voice speaking pure English. Eliza, it says.
Directly to her.
Yeah. You can learn while you sleep. Language enters the mind best when the body is relaxed. When you dream, your mind is open.
Wow.
And the voice offered simple, repetitive sentences, almost like affirmations. My name is Eliza. I want to speak English. I am not afraid.
Simple, positive framing.
And things like, I go to work, I drink tea, I learn English. Every day I become better.
Okay, this phenomenon, while it sounds fantastical, it does touch on concepts like subliminal perception and, as we said, memory consolidation during sleep. Now, we aren't necessarily suggesting you can just memorize textbooks in deep sleep.
Right, not like downloading Info Matrix style.
Exactly. But a relaxed state, pre-sleep, or maybe even a light dreamlike state, it can lower cognitive barriers. That gentle, repetitive auditory input, free from the pressure of performance, might bypass conscious filters, allowing for a deeper, more intuitive absorption of language patterns and sounds.
So Eliza falls asleep listening to this, and something truly unusual happens. She dreams in English for the first time, apparently.
That's a significant shift.
She finds herself in this bright white space she calls the Fluency room. Words like hope, learn, speak, try, begin are floating towards her. And the key thing she notices, they feel natural.
Right.
Not confusing or intimidating.
And she even joins a conversation circle in the dream.
Yeah. and speaks with confidence. I love English. It's becoming part of me.
So this fluency room, it isn't just passive reception. It's about experiencing fluency in a zero-pressure environment. That internal feeling of words being natural, that's crucial. It bypasses the analytical mind and allows for that intuitive acquisition traditional methods often struggle with.
It's like experiential learning, but happening subconsciously.
Exactly. Powerful stuff, even if it's happening below the level of full waking consciousness.
So the next morning, she wakes up, the radio is off, silent. But as she stretches, she hears herself speak fluently. I had a good dream. I learned something new.
Whoa, just like that.
Just like that. She's shocked, obviously.
Mhm.
The memory of the dream is fresh, and the words are still with her. And when she closes her eyes for a moment, the whisper returns. You're ready to continue. Tonight, we go deeper.
The dream invited her back. This raises a really important question for all of us, doesn't it? What does it actually mean to be ready for deeper immersion in learning? Is it just mental preparation? Eliza's immediate, spontaneous use of English suggests something more profound, an internal shift. It indicates learning can occur outside our conscious efforts, integrating itself well into our very being.
So, fueled by this quiet excitement and maybe a bit of disbelief,
Understandably.
Eliza prepares for her next sleep. The voice returns, inviting her to build the foundation. Her dream transports her to this place called the Language Academy of the Mind. And her guide there, Ava, greets her.
And Ava's message here is really profound. We teach you not just the words, but how to believe in your voice.
It hits hard, doesn't it?
It really does. It directly addresses that huge psychological barrier so many language learners face: the fear of speaking, the fear of making mistakes. The dream environment just bypasses those fears. It creates this safe space for Eliza to build inner confidence right alongside the vocabulary.
Inside this academy, she reviews simple sentence structures, verbs, sees them in action, repeats them until the rhythm feels almost musical. Then the room transforms into a peaceful garden with a stone path. Each stone holds a word: try, learn, repeat, grow, believe, speak.
A metaphorical journey.
Exactly. And as she walks, saying each word, she feels it enter her deeply. It's not just intellectual.
It's a very sophisticated visualization technique, really. It imprints the learning process as this natural, intuitive progression, not a struggle.
Yeah.
And that connection of belief directly to speaking, that's a vital lesson for anyone trying to master a new skill. Fluency isn't just knowledge, it's the conviction to use it.
So at the end of this path, Ava presents a mirror made of light, and Eliza declares, I believe I can speak English.
And the mirror glows.
Yeah, reflecting her confident self.
Hmm.
So when she wakes up, she's actually thinking in English. And later that day, a man in the park asks her for directions, and without missing a beat, she replies fluently, go straight, then turn left. It's near the bank.
Okay, that's compelling. The immediate real-world application. The dream wasn't just some mental exercise. It directly translated into practical ability. It broke down those long-standing fears and allowed her to communicate effectively, spontaneously. That bridge between the dream world and waking reality is critical here.
The journey continues too. Next up, the Dream Language Cafe.
Sounds cozy.
It's described as bustling, warm. People from all over the world are there, just speaking English. She meets Marco from Brazil, Leela from Egypt, Kenji from Japan. The vibe is just inviting. No pressure, just conversation challenges, but fun ones.
If we connect this to language acquisition principles, this cafe represents the ideal scenario, doesn't it? A diverse, supportive language exchange, totally free from judgment. It shifts the focus from passive learning to active social communication. That's crucial for internalizing fluency. It simulates the best parts of immersion without the intimidation factor.
They talk about their favorite meals, feijoada, koshari, sushi, her grandmother's chicken. They role play, giving directions. And Eliza's speaking in full sentences, no nervousness, understanding everything. They even share some kind of language tea.
Huh. Love that detail.
And they feel like they could talk forever because the fear is just gone. Her boss at the bakery even comments on how much her English has improved.
It just shows the integration of vocabulary and practical usage in this, well, profoundly low-stakes, high-engagement environment. Removing the fear of mistakes is paramount. It allows learners to experiment, internalize, truly own the language. That's such a contrast to traditional classrooms where fear often stifles progress.
Okay, so after these foundational conversations, feeling more confident, Eliza's dreams lead her to the grammar garden.
Uh-oh, grammar, usually the scary part.
Right. But here she meets Elios, the keeper of the garden, and he tells her, grammar is not a rule book. It's the rhythm of your thoughts.
Wow, that's a powerful reframing, taking something daunting and making it intuitive.
Isn't it? It profoundly challenges that traditional, often intimidating view of grammar.
Yeah, it suggests language structure isn't some external thing to be rigidly memorized, but an internal natural flow, a way of organizing thought. It's about understanding the inherent logic, the why and how, not just the what. Makes it far more accessible.
So Eliza explores this garden. There's a tense trail where she practices present, past, future, describing her day, her plans. She visits the question circle, where a fountain whispers questions like, why do you learn English? And she bravely answers, talking about freedom and connection.
Facing the why, important.
Then there's the preposition pond, identifying a cat in the box on the book, between the shoes. Little visual puzzles. And each correct sentence makes the garden brighter. But the most important stop, Elios tells her, is Confidence Corner.
This is great. This progressive, playful learning, tailored to her readiness, it allows for deeper assimilation. She's not just hearing grammar rules, she's experiencing them as a living part of her communication. The interactive nature makes complex points memorable, even enjoyable.
So in Confidence Corner, Eliza faces another mirror of light, and she speaks her truth. I am learning. I am improving. I am not perfect, but I'm proud.
That acceptance is huge.
The mirror reflects not just her, but her potential. And Elios gives her this glowing stone, representing her progress. He tells her, every sentence you speak adds to its light.
That's a significant aha moment, isn't it? Self-acceptance. A critical shift in mindset. The mirror reflecting her intrinsic worth, independent of that elusive goal of perfection. And the glowing stone, a brilliant metaphor for the cumulative effect of consistent effort and, crucially, self-belief. It's about internalizing the growth.
And Eliza wakes up transformed, not just by what she knows, but by what she believes about herself. That very same day, despite still feeling nervous deep down, she does something huge. She signs up to help lead an English conversation group at the local library.
Wow, from learner to leader, just like that. An act of pure confidence she wouldn't have imagined months before.
And her honesty with the group is apparently key. She starts by saying, I'm not a teacher, I'm a learner too.
That immediately creates an environment of psychological safety, so crucial for adult learners who often carry deep fears of judgment. It shifts the whole dynamic, doesn't it? From expert student to this supportive community of co-learners. Vulnerability is okay, even encouraged.
She introduces a simple game. One-sentence story. Everyone adds a sentence to build a collective narrative. The room fills with laughter, everyone speaking English, alive and real. And a woman tells Eliza she was scared to speak before, but the game felt different. And Eliza, for the first time, shares her secret. I started learning even while I sleep.
That one-sentence story game, it embodies that principle of low-stakes, high-engagement learning, building communication brick by brick. Playfully, and Eliza's transparency about her own unique learning method that empowers others too. It shows that unconventional paths are possible, maybe even incredibly effective. It normalizes exploring different ways to learn.
That night, the dream voice confirms this shift. It says, you've crossed a new bridge. You've brought your voice from the dream into the world. The garden in her dream. Now it has paths leading not just forward, but outward.
Ah, signifying connection and sharing.
Yes. Ava reveals that Eliza has planted seeds and they're growing, and she leads her to new signs in the garden, asking deeper questions. Why do we learn? Who do we become when we speak a new language? How do we use our voice to lift others?
That's a beautiful transition from personal growth to shared impact. Her individual journey becomes a catalyst for collective learning. Those questions signal a deeper purpose beyond just fluency. It's about human connection, altruism, the so what of learning a language.
And Eliza has this realization, speaking English isn't just about words, it's about connection.
Yeah.
The voice from within her confirms, you are awake now.
Yeah.
In every way.
Yeah.
It feels like her dream isn't separate anymore. It's part of her reality.
Oh, complete and great.
But then, a challenging turn. After weeks of this consistent dream learning, the voice just disappears.
Yeah.
The dream cafe, the grammar garden, all gone. Eliza waits night after night, but there's only silence. She wakes with this profound heaviness, wondering if it was all just in her head.
This is such a crucial phase in any learning journey, isn't it? The test of self-reliance. When that external support or guidance fades, no matter how profound it was, our true understanding and confidence are put to the test. It forces Eliza to internalize her learning, to find her own inner compass.
At her library group, she feels uncertain. But she chooses vulnerability again. She writes her own feeling on the whiteboard. I feel uncertain. But then she adds, but I am here, and that means something. Her honesty really resonates with the group.
That act of vulnerability transforms a moment of doubt into a powerful moment of connection and resilience. It teaches her students, and us really, that strength isn't about the absence of doubt, but about being present and committed despite it. It's authentic leadership.
Later that day, walking in the park, Eliza questions aloud, just to herself, if the dream never comes back, can I still grow? And a voice comes, but not from the sky this time, from deep inside her. You already have.
Ah, the internal shift.
Yes. She realizes the dream had only guided her until she was ready to guide herself.
That internal voice that represents her fully integrated learning and self-knowledge. She no longer needs the external validation or the dream itself because the process is internalized. She has become her own teacher, her own guide. It's a beautiful metaphor for true self-mastery.
That night, instead of waiting for the voice or trying to get back to those magical dream spaces, Eliza closes her eyes and visualizes her own classroom, one she built in her mind. She imagines her students smiling, speaking, and herself standing there as a leader speaking aloud. I am not perfect, but I am enough. She realizes the dream hadn't disappeared. It had become a permanent part of her.
The power of visualization and self-affirmation there is just immense. It's the active application of the confidence she cultivated in her dreams, now manifested directly in her waking life. She possesses the tools now, and more importantly, the belief, to continue her journey independently. She's armed with this deeply internalized competence.
Okay, so 2 weeks pass. Eliza's found her rhythm, speaking English daily, confidently guiding her group. But, a little piece of her still hopes for the dream's return. Then, in the library, she encounters a woman, Miriam, who hesitantly describes having identical dreams. The cafe, the garden, Ava, Elios.
No way, the same dream.
Exactly the same. They immediately recognize this shared, incredible experience.
That shared experience is such a powerful validation for both of them. It moves Eliza's journey from potentially being this isolated, maybe even questionable personal phenomenon to something potentially universal. It implies these dream learning pathways might be accessible to others too. That connection in the waking world sparks a whole new phase.
And they discover their dreams vanished at the exact same time. Eliza realizes, it's changing. That night, the whisper returns, but different. Eliza, you've passed the gate. Now open it for others.
Ah, the call to leadership again, but broader now.
Yes. It marks a new phase, a shift from receiving guidance to giving it.
It's a profound shift. The dream isn't just for her anymore. It's now a tool, a methodology to empower others. Her individual mastery becomes a platform for collective upliftment, true knowledge wanting to be shared.
In her dream that night, Miriam is there too. Ava explains that the dream never left. It only waited for you to become ready. Now, the dream is presented as Eliza's tool for guiding. The garden shifts into this vast hall filled with learners, and Eliza and Miriam are tasked with helping them dream with purpose to become the voice they first hear.
That's a transformative vision. It's about leading others to discover their own internal resources, their own innate learning capacities, just like Eliza did. And the dream merging with a real classroom in the mirror image that signifies the seamless integration of unconscious and conscious learning, blurring the lines in a really powerful way.
They wake up, full of clarity, strength.
Mm-hmm.
Eliza messages Miriam, "The dream is back. Let's talk tonight." They meet at just an ordinary cafe, but now they see themselves differently. Not just students anymore, but dreamers who build bridges, expanding this dream into a real, tangible movement.
That ordinary cafe becomes extraordinary because of their shared purpose, their shifted self-perception. It's a testament to how personal insights can spark communal movements, driven by connection and belief. It's like the birth of a new educational idea.
So inspired, Eliza and Miriam create the Sleeper Circle at the library, a radical new approach. English learning through rest, belief, and trusting the unconscious mind, turning an old meeting room into, well, a sanctuary for learning.
This initiative is truly groundbreaking. It directly challenges those high-pressure, performance-oriented models that often induce so much anxiety and fear in learners. It intentionally creates this space for vulnerability, for acceptance, where people can explore learning without that constant fear of judgment or failure. A stark contrast to traditional settings.
Their first session is quiet. Learners are hesitant, coming from Ukraine, Morocco, Turkey. Eliza assures them, this is not a test, this is not a school. It's a space to rest, to listen, and maybe to remember. Miriam plays soft audio phrases. I am calm, I am safe, I'm learning, English is becoming part of me. No pressure to speak.
That emphasis on relaxation and non-performance is revolutionary in an educational context. It reframes learning as this peaceful internal process, not a stressful external demand. That atmosphere of psychological safety is crucial for engaging the subconscious, allowing deep, uninhibited learning to occur. It connects to ideas about reducing cortisol, allowing memory formation. It's smart.
The group grows. People come not for grammar charts, but for the feeling of peace, the subtle changes they can't quite explain. Then a skeptic, Juliet, joins. She doubts it's more than just a dream club.
Understandable skepticism, it's unconventional.
Right. But Eliza validates it. She says, sometimes the deepest changes happen quietly, without us noticing.
Julia's skepticism is so relatable. It's the logical mind resisting methods outside established paradigms. Eliza's response shows real wisdom, acknowledging that not all learning is immediately visible or measurable, like a seed growing underground.
A week later, Julia bursts into the session, out of breath, totally changed. She exclaimed she had a dream with a door labeled, Speak. She opened it and said one sentence in English. I'm not afraid anymore.
Wow.
The group is quiet, absorbing it, and Julia whispers, maybe this works.
That aha moment for Julia is such a powerful, undeniable testament to the method's efficacy. It shows that even for those who don't consciously recall dreams, the integration of language and, crucially, confidence can still happen deeply, transformatively, makes it real for anyone.
That night, Eliza's dream reveals the School of Silent Sleepers, a spiral building with rooms like Confidence Room, Listening Hall, Dream Recovery. Ava explains it was locked for years because people forgot how to rest and learn without fear.
That imagery suggests this forgotten wisdom about human learning, doesn't it? Emphasizing mental rest, a fear-free environment. It raises a big question. Are there inherent human capacities for learning that our modern high-pressure methods inadvertently suppress, lock away, Maybe the deepest learning happens when we just allow it.
They enter a dark room labeled doubt. Voices of fear echo, I can't do it, I'll never be fluent. Even Eliza's own old voice whispers, I'm not good enough. But now, Liza responds with her deeply internalized truth. I am learning, I am growing, I am enough.
The internal battle. We all face it.
And the darkness cracks, light pours in, the dream shifts.
Her response is this act of profound self-affirmation resilience. It shows true growth comes from confronting and transforming those internal barriers, not just acquiring external knowledge. She knows now to keep the door open for herself and others.
So with the sleeper circle gaining momentum, Eliza and Miriam get a new idea. Create something people can actually hear. A whisper in someone's sleep, like the voice that guided them.
Scaling up, bottling the magic.
Exactly. They want to share that feeling.
It's the natural evolution, isn't it? From personal discovery to a scalable solution. Creating a tool that embodies the essence of their experience, making it accessible to a wider audience, democratizing the method.
They borrow a microphone, record the listening light. Eliza's voice is soft. Hello, dreamer. You are safe. You are welcome here. Tonight we will learn gently. No pressure, no tests, just words, just peace. Miriam adds segments for daily actions, turning everyday thoughts into simple, repetitive English phrases.
The language itself, no pressure, no tests, just words, just peace. It directly counters all the anxieties tied to language learning. It's a deliberate design to foster relaxation, open receptivity, preparing the subconscious to absorb without resistance. Less force-feeding, more fostering a natural pathway.
They upload the recordings to a simple website, free for everyone. Press play, close your eyes, learn. Word spreads like wildfire. Messages flood in, first from the city, then globally. People say they fall asleep to it, their kids listen. English suddenly feels gentle, not scary. And then the most surprising message arrives. I dreamed in English last night. For the first time, I saw a light. It spoke to me. It was your voice.
Wow, they've become the new dream guides for others. That organic spread is powerful. It validates this huge unmet need for gentle, accessible learning. The impact is clearly far-reaching.
Eliza realizes it's working, even for people who've never been to the dream. And Miriam adds, because the dream was never just a place, it was always a way. Other teachers start reaching out, wanted to translate it, use their method. The movement is growing beyond anything they imagined.
That underscores the transferability, the scalability. The way refers to that holistic, intuitive, compassionate approach, prioritizing inner peace over rigid structure. It's not about replicating a specific dream, but fostering the state conducive to deep, effortless learning.
That night, Eliza doesn't dream in the usual way. She's in the grammar garden, alone at first. But then hundreds, thousands of lights appear around her, voices repeating soft, slow English. It's not a classroom, not really a dream. It feels like a movement, a light spreading across minds, languages, sleep.
Fascinating. The dreamscape itself evolves. It's no longer personal. It's a visual representation of a collective consciousness of learning, and Eliza realizes she had become the voice, she had become the dream, and now so could anyone. That's the ultimate realization, isn't it? The power was always within, and she learned how to activate and share it.
Eliza feels her journey, this particular phase, coming to an end. A quiet knowing. In her final dream, she stands in this wide golden field, boundless, open. Ava appears, but she's different. Not just a guide, but seemingly part of the sky itself. Light, wind, time, all woven into a smile.
That signifies complete integration, doesn't it? Eliza's consciousness merging with the learning principles she now embodies. Ava, the guide, represents the internalized wisdom Eliza possesses. And the open field. Infinite possibility. No more constraints.
Ava confirms this is the last time she'll appear like this, but says it's not an ending, a beginning on the other side. And the sky fills with the soft sounds of all the learners Eliza has helped, speaking quietly in dozens of languages.
It reinforces that idea. True mastery isn't an end state. It's a new starting point for continued growth, leadership, impact. Those collective voices highlight the incredible ripple effect of her journey.
Eliza has another realization then. This was never about being fluent, she thinks. It was about being brave. Ava agrees. Eliza asks for the final lesson. Ava gives her a small silver key that melts gently into her chest. It opens. Nothing. Not anymore, Ava says. It's not for doors, it's for memories. You carry everything now.
That is such a profound redefinition of success. Fluency is a byproduct. Bravery, self-belief, those are the true achievements. And the key, brilliant metaphor for internalized wisdom. The knowledge, the confidence, they aren't external tools anymore. They're an intrinsic part of who she is. She became the learning.
Eliza wakes up feeling calm, quiet. Her dream journal. Not needed for new entries anymore. She writes on the final page. The dream ended, but I did not. Now I speak from a deeper place awake. It's this powerful declaration of self-mastery.
Absolutely. That's the ultimate lesson. The dream was a catalyst. Powerful, yes. But the transformation is real, enduring, fully integrated. The power to learn, speak, connect, it's now fully within her conscious self. A permanent part of her being.
And that very afternoon, she and Miriam launch a new, larger program at a community center, free English learning through listening and rest. This time there were other teachers too, some from their sleeper circle, all believing in this philosophy: kindness, slowness, and light.
The program's growth, bringing in others, it demonstrates the method is sustainable, scalable. And that emphasis on kindness, slowness, and light, it offers such a powerful, needed contrast to traditional, often stressful learning environments, creating a truly nurturing space.
Eliza stands before the new group. No notes, no books, just herself, authentically. My name is Eliza, she says, and I learned English in a dream, but today, I'm not dreaming. I'm living it. And I'm here to help you find your voice, not by being perfect, but by being present.
That statement just encapsulates her entire journey, doesn't it? From hesitant, frustrated learner to confident, compassionate guide. It shifts the focus from an external goal like perfection to an internal state, presence, which is the foundation of authentic communication and connection. The voice that guided her, it's undeniably powerfully her own now.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Eliza's journey, this fascinating narrative we've explored today, it really reminds us that learning isn't always about intense struggle or rigid schedules. Sometimes maybe the most profound progress happens when we relax, when we trust our inner capacity, and even perhaps while we allow our minds to just absorb information while we sleep, letting it in gently.
This story definitely raises an important question for you, the listener. What hidden capacities might you have for learning if you approached it with less fear and maybe more belief? What if the key to unlocking new skills isn't just about what you consciously do when you're awake, but what you allow yourself to absorb, to integrate when you're at rest and your mind is truly open?
Eliza's story is just a powerful testament to finding your own unique path to knowledge, doesn't it? To embracing courage over perfection. And ultimately, to discovering that the greatest lessons and the real power to learn are often within us all along. Until next time, keep diving deep into what truly makes you curious.